Seth Rollins makes Sami Zayn suffer. He offered him the chance of a lifetime and was rejected. He offered him a spot in his empire and was betrayed. Now, Seth Rollins has only one mission: make Sami Zayn suffer. What began as respect has turned into revenge. What began as opportunity has erupted into obsession. This is the story of how Seth Rollins, once the visionary, has become the architect of pain, and Sami Zayn is the man in his crosshairs. A chance extended. Just days after WrestleMania 41, the WWE Universe was still buzzing from Sami Zayn's emotional Intercontinental Championship win over Gunther. The underdog had finally conquered the ring general, ending one of the longest and most dominant title reigns in WWE history. Sami was on top of the world, respected, beloved, and finally validated. But another man was watching closely: Seth Rollins. Rollins, fresh off the stunning events of WrestleMania where he aligned with Paul Heyman and turned his back on the fans, approached Sami on Raw with an unexpected proposition. The visionary told Sami, "You're a champion now. That means you've got a target on your back. I know what that's like. You need allies. You need power. You need vision. Join me, Sami, and I will protect what you've earned." The offer shocked fans. Rollins, once a self-proclaimed savior, was now clearly building something darker: a new faction, a new power structure, perhaps even a new authority. Sami Zayn, though grateful for the gesture, declined. Respectfully, but firmly. He told Seth, "I fought to get here on my own, and I'll defend it the same way. I appreciate it, but I walk my own path." Seth smiled, but the smile didn't reach his eyes. And that's when the seeds of vengeance were planted. The first strike. The very next week, Sami defended his title against Ricochet in a thrilling main event on Raw. Just as the match ended, the lights dimmed, and Seth Rollins appeared on the stage, clapping slowly. Suddenly, Braun Breaker, a new Heyman guy, stormed the ring and blindsided Sami. Chairs, steel steps, brutality. Rollins never stepped in. He just watched, cold and calculating, as his monster dismantled the champion. The message was clear: say no to Seth Rollins, and you suffer the consequences. Zayn strikes back, but Sami Zayn is no stranger to pain, no stranger to betrayal, no stranger to fighting from underneath. The following week, he interrupted a Seth Rollins promo and confronted him in the ring. Face to face. "Sami, you want to send your dogs after me? Fine. But next time, bring a leash, because I'm not going down without a fight." Seth smirked, then said just 5 words: "You made your choice. Suffer." Security poured in as Braun Breaker rushed the ring again, but this time, Sami was ready. He ducked, countered, and hit a hell of a kick that dropped Breaker cold. The crowd erupted, but Rollins wasn't shaken. In fact, he looked amused. Because this wasn't about Braun. This was just the beginning. Mind games and manipulation. Over the next several weeks, Rollins began a psychological campaign against Zayn. He aired pre-taped promos accusing Sami of being soft, unworthy, and temporary. He called him a transitional champion who got lucky at WrestleMania, a man who didn't belong in the same breath as legends like Gunther, Reigns, or even himself. He even used old footage of Sami's time with the Bloodline, twisting it to suggest Sami always betrays those who trust him, planting seeds of doubt among the locker room. Rollins then began interfering in Sami's matches indirectly. Backstage attacks, technical glitches, fireworks malfunctions, even pulling strings to get Sami booked in handicap matches, all while never laying a finger on him personally. He was building a chessboard, and Sami Zayn, he was just another piece. Rollins' new allies. The vision takes shape. Rollins wasn't alone. With Paul Heyman as his consigliere, he began recruiting dangerous allies. Braun Breaker was the muscle. J.D. McDonough, estranged from Judgment Day, was brought in as the strategist. And then, the shocking addition of Tiffany Stratton, someone who had aligned herself with Rollins' ideology of image, power, and vision. Together, they formed a dangerous unit being dubbed the Architects, a modern version of the Authority, with Rollins as the face, Heyman as the voice, and Chaos as the mission. And their first target? Sami Zayn. Backlash, the beating that went too far. At WWE Backlash, Rollins finally stepped into the ring with Sami, not for a match, but for a face-to-face peace summit. The idea was floated that they'd agree to coexist. But Rollins wasn't interested in peace. With the entire faction in tow, Rollins ambushed Sami in the ring and orchestrated one of the most brutal beatdowns in recent memory. Steel chairs, table spots, a double stomp from the top rope with Sami's neck caught in a chair. Referees were helpless. Medical staff rushed in. Heyman screamed, "This is a warning to every champion in WWE." Sami was stretchered out. Backlash ended not with a celebration, but with silence, injury updates, and emotional promos. In the days that followed, WWE issued a statement confirming that Sami had suffered multiple contusions, a possible concussion, and cervical strain. Fans were outraged. Hashtag Justice for Sami trended worldwide. Rollins, in classic fashion, appeared on Raw the next night wearing a custom suit, sunglasses, and no remorse. He mocked the fans, called them emotional sheep, and declared, "I offered that man the keys to the kingdom. He spit in my face. Now look at him, broken, forgotten, and soon replaced." Meanwhile, Sami released a pre-taped message from a hospital bed. His voice was hoarse, his face swollen. "You think this is the end? I fought my whole life for one reason, to prove people like you wrong. I'm coming back. And when I do, it won't just be for revenge. It'll be to end your empire, brick by brick." Seth takes over. Raw is Rollins. With Sami sidelined, Seth Rollins went on a rampage. He began hosting Monday Night Raw, starting each show with a monologue, declaring himself the real-world champion, even without a belt. He attacked rising baby faces like Chad Gable, Johnny Gargano, and even LA Knight, using the architects to manipulate outcomes. He replaced commentary headsets with gold microphones. He wore robes, fur coats, and carried a sledgehammer, a direct callback to Triple H. The message was clear: Raw belongs to me. And week by week, the fans grew hungrier for Sami's return. The return, Sami strikes back. Then came a fateful night. Rollins was gloating mid-ring after another State of Raw speech when suddenly, the lights flickered. A hooded figure emerged through the crowd. It was Sami Zayn. The crowd erupted. With no music, no pyro, just intensity, Sami slid into the ring and unleashed weeks of rage on Rollins. Punches, kicks, a hell of a kick that sent Seth flying over the ropes. Security swarmed the ring, but the damage was done. Sami was back, and now it was his turn to make Seth Rollins suffer. The road to SummerSlam. Vengeance in motion. In the weeks leading up to SummerSlam, WWE booked the match, Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn, in a no disqualification event. What's next for Sami Zayn? Has Seth Rollins truly learned his lesson? Or is this we're only just beginning? Tell us what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and don't miss a moment, because in WWE, every choice has consequences, and every hero has a breaking point.